Plenty of highlights from last season for both Michigan and Washington, and it culminated with them meeting up in the national championship game. There's a few more games to get to this weekend. We're going to start with the national title game rematch. Ross, the thing is, they're two very different teams this year than we saw in January.
A lot, right? Each program is lost a ton of players. Each has virtually a whole new staff. Certainly at Washington, a new head coach. Yeah, it's two very different programs than those that we saw in the title game. For me, the matchup here is Michigan's defensive front against one of the best quarterbacks and kind of overshadowed a little bit quarterbacks in the country. In Washington, it's Will Rogers. He's throwing for about 270 a game, 10 touchdowns, 0 picks, and he faces a Michigan front that is one of the more talented in the country. We've talked about them a lot this year. That's kind of the matchup I'm watching for. On the other side of the ball, Anthony, can Michigan move the ball consistently, offensively in the pass game? Can they find something there?
And with the way they're beginning to run the rock, that bully ball aspect of what Michigan brings to the table, I'm really intrigued by that because we have seen them win Big Ten championships. And yes, J.J. McCarthy, remarkably gifted as a quarterback, as a first-round pick in the NFL draft, but they didn't have to lean on J.J. McCarthy all the time over the last couple of seasons. So now that the offensive line seems to be gelling and a run game is starting to dominate the competition, they've got a tough task this week because Washington's defense has been exceptional. Steve Belichick has really put a great defense on the field so far for the Dogs, and they, as a program, have prided themselves on that in a sort of underappreciated fashion over the years. Multiple college football playoff appearances through various regimes and things of that ilk. But for Washington to be able to stuff the run, make Michigan one-dimensional, that'll be a huge part of the task for them. And then Will Rogers, maybe just avoid Will Johnson if you can.
When possible.
Yeah,
that's
right.
A general good rule of thumb, right? How about this? They've won every home game at Washington since 2021. That's 17 consecutive for them.